What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later.
What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I decided, like I do every year, to make some changes to the platform. So I have some updates and some things, some construction that I want to have and take place prior to the beginning of next year. So 2026, I've been hearing y'all been acting like spoiled little kids. Oh, we want you to change the background. Oh, we want you to update this. Oh, we want you to update that. Okay, all right. Well, then I'll hear you. I hear you. That is my job as a content creator slash UXer. So updates you will get. Updates you will get. What up, friends? What up, family? Yeah, who said that? You are always agile. Now, I read a couple comments. I do check out comments, and I read as many as I can to get feedback. And I think that I had asked a question or something like that, and it was like something like change the background, which is so funny because I look at CNNs and all of that type of stuff, and they be the same for the next 6-7 years, and nobody says anything. But that's cool. That's cool. Updates keep me on my toes, keep me on my feet. We got the Q show tonight. Yes, we do. We got the Q show tonight. And we have a Patreon live stream on Wednesday. So shout out to all of the bag chasers. Patreon live stream on Wednesday. Democrats should be held accountable for the worthless degrees pretending college students would actually get jobs. Well, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. I don't know about that. I got a little bit of a different opinion than that, but we do have the Q show tonight. Watch a few of your videos this morning. Missed the Sunday live stream. Well, Jennifer, it's logical for you to miss the Sunday live stream because I usually don't live stream on Sunday on the Millionaire Morning Show, but I didn't live stream on Wednesday, and I was supposed to do a makeup show on Saturday, but then I got caught up in a business meeting Saturday, so I had to do a live stream Sunday. So honestly, it's more or less about the fact that I had to make up for what I had to make up for. So it wasn't your fault. But we here today. We're here today. All right. We're here today. All right, y'all ready to get started with the show? Again, make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a couple of cash apps. All right. Shout out to Samuel. Says you got to play Rose Gold Kick show fit. Shout out to you, Samuel. I feel you. I feel you, Sam Silver. Valerie says, thank you for the Sunday live. It was popping, wasn't it? We had fun on Saturday. Mike, that dude in the building. I appreciate you, Mike, that dude. Thank you for holding me down. Spencer Campbell. Thank you, Spencer Campbell. And Christopher Williams. Shout out to everybody that hold me down on Cash App. All right. What Keisha write about? YouTube shadow banning you. I have to go search for this show every day. Well, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Other than that, it's nothing I can do about that. I don't know if they shadow banning me. I don't ever feel like, let me start the show off with my thoughts, give y'all a little bit of my soliloquy. I don't ever feel as though I'm being done dirty. I've never complained about YouTube shadow banning me or me not coming up or when people subscribe and then it goes off and I have to resubscribe. I don't know. Maybe I just feel so blessed to be able to do what I do every day that I've never, ever felt like it was anybody else's fault why I'm not successful. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've always just been super appreciative and I make the best of my situation. Whatever my circumstance is, I fix it. Whatever my circumstance is, I fix it. So if I'm not being recommended, then that means that it's something that I'm doing wrong that YouTube feels as though they can get a better return for their value for somebody else that may be doing something greater than me. That's the way that I look at it. I look at everything as a challenge. I don't look at it like I'm a victim. I don't look at it like I'm a victim. I don't look at it like it's problematic. I look at it like, okay, you know what? Well, what is it about the algorithm? I've never been the type of person that felt as though I had to protest or, you know, go on some kind of big old thing, because what I've learned in business and in corporate America is that you can never bully somebody into doing what you want them to do. I don't. You can never bully somebody into doing what you want them to do. If I get mad at an advertiser, I say you only advertise on white programs. Either it's going to be they lost for not being able to tap into my audience, or they feel as though they're getting the best return for their value. But either way, I can't tell them where to spend their advertising dollars. Now, how I will approach it is I'll say, you know what, if I really want to do business with them, because now I have a choice to make. If I really want to do business with these people, then either I have to create content that will truly add value to their users and allow for them to get value so that when they advertise and they spend their money with me, that they'll really be able to capitalize off of it. Or I could say, you know what, your loss, let me add value into somebody else that will also give me a greater return on what I put out. But my thing is never, ever to hold them accountable. I don't care about what the system is. I'm gonna beat the odds. I don't care about why they not pushing out black content creators. Well, the first thing I gotta ask myself is, did I designate myself as a black content creator? And am I reaching another audience? Because the one thing that I know above all is capitalism is more important than color. Money, the green is more important than black and white. I guarantee you that. I know that for a fact. I know that when you bring in value and money to the table, people don't care about what the color of your skin is. You know what they care about? Whether or not you're going to add value into what it is that they got going on, because they're going to run it up. You know why? Because they're human. They're human like everybody else. We have this misguided narrative that's been fed into us. And this is the reason why we keep on being tribal. We have this misguided narrative that everybody else is smarter than us, that the billionaires are smarter than us, that the millionaires are smarter than us. They're not smarter than you, that the academics are smarter than you, right? that this segment or group of people, they practice this and this is what makes them smarter than you. They human. They're human just like you. It's imposter syndrome. A lot of us, and this is not even a black culture thing, this is people that have a certain mindset. This is a cultural norm within people that feel mediocre in the United States of America. You believe that your dollar is not as valuable as their dollar. You believe that the way that you live your life and how you go about raising your family or your ability to be able to get into the same rooms and extract resources, somehow they're smarter than you, that they can speak the lingo. When I started leveling up in corporate America, you know what I realized? It wasn't even about how smart you was. It was about how wise you were, about whether or not you understood the task, whether or not you understood the circumstances that surround you. That's the true way that you can evaluate if you're really moving up or not. It's not about how smart you are and when you leveling up. Steve Jobs proved that to you. Yes, he was a genius when it came to certain aspects of putting together business, but Steve Jobs in no way, shape, or form was the smartest guy in the room when it came to his IQ, when it came to his ability to really be able to do things as a developer. He wasn't the smartest from a technical, like from an academia perspective. Steve Jobs was the wisest. He knew who to put together to do the things that he really wanted to accomplish. And when you divest yourself from this mindset, like you don't belong in the room, like you're not smart, you'll start to put down what you think you know and start to make modifications based off of what make the most sense. Even my studio, right? I built the studio. I spent over $100,000 redoing the studio after I built the studio, right? And when I went down to Atlanta and this whole Brian McKnight interview, I gained so much insight, right? Fuck the interview. I gained insight from the process of interviewing Brian McKnight. I met people down in Atlanta that I still keep in touch with, that I do business with, because I said, you know what? This guy is the best at his camera work. Did you see how crispy those cameras was? I said, this guy is the best at what he do from an audio perspective. This guy is the best producer that I can find. And so I hired a team down in Atlanta to shoot the content instead of trying to control it all myself, because I can work to be the best videographer. I can work to be the best audio engineer. I can work to be the best producer, but me understanding what I want and being able to communicate to them and put the right team together created the better product. I didn't have to be the smartest at that thing. I'm the person that needs to do the control the orchestra. I need to have Brian in the best space possible to get the best interview out of him. I needed to put the best people around me. You see what I'm saying? So the interview was a 10 out of 10. The interview was a 10 out of 10. They had the right shadows on me. They had the right color correction. They had the right everything. But it's because I realized that I didn't have to be the greatest at that. I'm the greatest at this. And so we got to stop overthinking it, and we need to start humbling ourselves from the perspective of trying to find out how to put the best thing possible and then how to find the best way to market it. I'm a great marketing guy. I'm a great marketing guy. I know how to monetize. My secret sauce is I know how to get the right product out to the right people. I know when it's going to grow legs. I know what questions to ask, and I know how to market it and monetize it better than anybody else. I don't have to be the best videographer. I don't have to be the best producer. I don't have to be this thing. You know, I look at the Millionaire Morning Show. You know what this is? The Millionaire Morning Show is my muse. This isn't this. I don't even look at this channel in the same way that I used to look at it. I used to look at the Millionaire Morning Show as, man, I'm going to build this network and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And so I had all these big plans. And I realized that that's what Room 9 is. Room 9 is the play The Millionaire Morning Show is for me to rant. Now, this is where I can come and get off all of my thoughts and talk about everything that I want to talk about in popular culture. And so that's what I use it for. The Darth Anton channel, that's where you get to see a behind the scenes look of what my life is like. The Room 9 channel is morphing into being something completely different. The Millionaire Morning Show, this is where I can come to address everybody that I don't like. This is where I can come and talk about all of the political stuff in real time that I don't really care for. This is the channel that I'm use as a muse for all of the things that I don't necessarily care for or the things that I actually want to champion. But I couldn't learn that. I couldn't understand that. I couldn't change that until I started being open to growing, open to understanding, learning from other people, leveraging my mentors. And I love it. I love how I've segmented different things for, what I do. I did Trill Mercy. Says facts. You showed us in the Patreon for steps for content creators. I'm really starting to use those steps to grow my page. This is my outlet. I can come and get my thoughts off. So all I'm saying is you guys have to stop trying to be the smartest. Start trying to be the wisest. The wise person is the person that get all of the money. The smart person is the person that's sitting there trying to prove to everybody how smart they are. The wise person is putting the smart person up and saying, keep talking, and he getting all of the money. All of the CEOs, a lot of those dudes are C students. All of the executives, they C students. A lot of them, not all of them. A lot of the people that make the most money are not the ones that got A's and even B pluses in school. I learned that from George W. They surround themselves with wise people, and then they get all of the money, all of the dollars, all of the resources, and then they go and get that bag. You know what I'm saying? Let's get started with the show, y'all. All right. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to talk about business or if I want to go into real estate. Business or real estate. I don't know if I want to go into business or on the Patreon live stream on Wednesday. Because I kind of want to do one. I haven't done one in a while on corporate America. And I feel like I need to do one on corporate America. Trim out. So y'all gonna have to tell me what y'all want on that front. Business, real estate. What y'all want? Business or real estate? I think I want to talk about business. All right, we'll do business and then we'll do real estate after that. All right, y'all ready to get started with the show? Last real estate Patreon should hold us over. Well, the reason why I'm going with the business is because I'm finalizing. I want to take y'all through the finished product of the home that I built. And so I'm finalizing that. I added a deck on back. Let me see something. I added a deck to the back of the house. My renters love me. And that deck is going to last forever. So I added a deck to the back of the house. But I'm going to take y'all through the whole thing. So I did a deck on the back of the house completely. So So I'm just finishing everything up, putting a cute little bow tie. I meet with my realtor on next Wednesday so that she can come through, and then we're gonna go and put a price on it for what we're gonna require. I usually tell people to give me a security deposit in the first month's rent, and then we good. I don't do 3 months rent. I don't do none of that stuff. So we got to go through and we got to vet it out because I want to get it rented by next year, and then we go from there. So I don't require for my renters to pay this egregious amount or nothing like that. I just take a security deposit and then I have them pay their first month, and that's it. And we getting window treatment. So the last 3 things that I'm getting done to it: sprinklers, grass, window treatments, and it's one more thing: sprinklers, grass, window treatments. That's it. That's it. The sprinkler. Now that we got the deck done, it's the sprinklers, grass, and the window treatments. So, yep, the sprinklers is going in next week, and then the grass is going in. The underground sprinklers, and then the grass is going in, and then the window treatment people are supposed to come next week also. And then we'll put a bow on that, and then I'll tell y'all what it is, what my total costs are. I go through and I tell y'all exactly what the numbers are, how much it costs me to build, what I'm gonna be making per month, everything. And then I'll show y'all the next project, and then we go from there. All right, y'all, let me read some of these super chats, and then we'll go ahead and get it popping. Anaka, yeah, we got over 1,000 in here, so we'll get it popping. Congrats to over I see what you said, 20,000 Bag Chaser Patreon members. Shout out to the 20K Patreon members. I never thought that I'd ever cross 20,000 Patreon members. That's crazy. I could just quit YouTube and only stream on Patreon. I could literally just drop on Patreon and only use YouTube to promote it if I wanted to. That's another thing. People like, oh man, it's not pushing out your. Don't worry about that. I'm multi-platform. Me and Kevin Samuels used to talk about it. I'm platform agnostic. So I don't need it. It's great to have. It's a phenomenal thing, and it's very, very profitable. Changing Narrative says, AD, what up, dog? What up to my Detroit brethren? Says, should I wait to the first to sign up for the Bag Chasers? Also, well, it's the 24th. Well, if you want to rewatch the live stream on the 26th, then you can. I would say around the 28th, 29th is when you want to wait until the next month. And if you're paying for the full year, it don't matter when you sign up. Because it's only what, $14, something like that. Big Bag Chest. Also, love for you to check out my music rap about God. I'm also co-sending it to your email right now. God bless. All right, thank you for narratives. I appreciate you changing narratives. Big Buck 850 says, appreciate your transparency. AD, you've really opened my eyes. From politics to buying stocks to level up is insane. The throwback, passionate crash outs, though, epic. Well, there's probably more to come. Chris H says, a good example is Nikola Tesla. He was the smartest inventor, but lacked when it came to marketing himself to investors. And I think he died broke too. Happy Monday says, Just a Brown Girl in America. What up, Just a Brown Girl in America? All right, again, the Q show is tonight, and we getting it popping. I want to start with student loans, and I'm going to approach it actually a little differently. All right. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
My acute care nurse practitioner degree is not a professional degree anymore, and it's giving give me my money back. I commented this on another video, but it's giving relieve my loans for my fake degree, please. And I'm not kidding. I'm at a point now where I'm like, if it's not a professional degree, but it's not going to be recognized, if we're not going to bring more people in, if when you go to surgery, you're not likely to have a CRNA to do your anesthesia, if when you go to a clinic or an urgent care, you're not likely to have an advanced practice provider like an MP or PA treat you, give me my money back and let me be free. That is all.
So a lot of people are mad on here about the Department of Education changing a lot of degrees from professional degrees to general degrees. A lot of these degrees include things like nursing, engineering masters, business master's degrees. I have a business master's degree myself, and speech language pathologist and other things like that. A lot of people are upset because I think they're under the assumption that this means that our degrees are not professional, or they just demean the value of our degrees. And I had to look into this, and it's not that at all. So basically, they just changed the classification of our degree from a professional degree to a general graduate. So now, to be considered a professional degree, it has to be a doctoral level program or require 6 years of schooling. And a lot of these degrees don't, hence why the classification has been changed.
So let me give y'all some insight on what's going on. Okay. There's a lot of talk from so many different women on the internet, on social media. And a lot of the talk is based around the fact that we don't like the fact that they changed the classification of our degrees from professional degrees to just regular degrees, right? And this is, again, I think I'm going to be beating a dead horse here. This is, again, why I'm saying that just because you graduated don't make you smart. Just because you graduated don't make you wise. And just because you graduated does not mean that you have understanding. What the Trump administration is doing is reclassifying degrees because they want to put borrower limits. They're going to put a cap on how much you can borrow, since you don't want to be responsible for the fact that you are taking out too much money in student loans. Since you can't manage yourself, because when I first went to college, I, like everybody else, was influenced just like everybody else to go to college right after high school, which I am not pushing my daughter to do that. I'm not pushing my daughter to do that. I'm encouraging her to do her research. I'm encouraging her to be wise. I'm encouraging her to be fruitful, and I'm encouraging her to be productive. And she is applying on her own, but I am not pushing my daughter to go to school right out of high school. Does not mean that it's necessarily conducive for her. She may need to take a year off. She may need to take 2 years off. She may want to get married and become a mother. I don't know, right? But my point is that I go through and I have conversations about her that hopefully can push her to be wise. And the reason that is because too many people jump right into it like I did. And since I did it, and I only did it one semester. And the reason why I only did it one semester is because I looked at, and they told me that I was going to have to take out a bunch of student loans in order to continue to go down the degree field that I chose to go down, because I went into mechanical engineering. And so I was like, and my homeboy was in the same office, and he had just took out a bunch of student loans. And I forgot how much he took out at the time because it was the year 2000. And so he took out a bunch of money, and he was like, yeah, man, skip it. I need to stay in school. And I was like, I'm done, bro. I told him straight up right there. I said, I'm done. He was like, oh, you dropping out? I wouldn't look at it quite like dropping out. I would look at it as making a better career decision. So I decided to go and get a job. That's when I went and got the job at the steel mill. And then I went to a couple classes while I was in a steel mill because they had tuition assistance. So they were paying for me to go to school. Then we got laid off in the 2008 crisis because I worked there for a little while. Once I got back on my feet, I started working at the University of Michigan after going to community college, and I was able to pay community college out of my pocket. And then when I went to a major university, the University of Michigan started paying for me to go to school. So I made smarter decisions. My homeboy, because I usually stay friends with people for a long time. My homeboy is still paying his student loans. We 43 years old, bro. 43. He's still paying student loans. And he graduated in 2004, 2005. Yes, he is. Because he went on forbearance. He went and did a forbearance, and he, got laid off, got a job, And then he, all of that other stuff. And I'm like, man, I knew. He was like, Tom, you made the best decision of all of us. Everybody thought you was crazy at the time, but you made the best decision of all of us that was in school at the time. I remember because he wound up becoming, I don't want to go into it too much, but I remember when I was working at the plant and I had my hard hat on and all of that, I was getting money. You paid on yours, so you was 51. I was focused on getting money. Now, I wasn't the wisest with the money, but I was able to go broke and crash out earlier in life so that I can learn a lesson, but nope. So what the Trump administration is doing with the Department of Education, which the Biden administration should have did, is they are reclassifying degrees because they don't want you to take out $150,000 in student loans as a social worker. You should not be taking out $150,000, $200,000 in loans. And I even question the sanity of people that do that. When people tell me, yeah, man, I got this amount of student loans, and I'll be like, well, what do you do for a living? I'm a social worker. So wait a minute, you were smart enough to go through all of this progress and go through all of the school, but you wasn't smart enough to realize that you wasn't going to make more than $63,000 a year as a social worker? How did you think that you was going to be able to pay that off? But a lot of them wasn't as crazy as we thought, because shout out to the social workers. Shout out to everybody that do whatever job that they do. I'm not ragging on the job. I'm ragging on the decision to take out such a huge loan burden so that you can do social work. You see what I'm saying? And some of them wasn't as stupid as we thought that they were. Like, we're looking at them as crazy now because they all got laid off, right? Some of them went into African-American studies. Some of them became African booty scratcher studies. Other people did underwater basket weaving degrees. And you know what they did? They decided to go and work for the federal government, or they went to go work for a nonprofit. They got married and worked for a nonprofit. Now, the guy that they was married to, he didn't pay too much attention to her student loans because he just loved her. And oh my God, you're such a beautiful soul and all of this stuff. And so he just was falling in love with her. He didn't know that he was going to inherit her debt. So now they went to either go work for the federal government or they went to work for a nonprofit. Now, he never required for her to pay anything until he went through a hard time. Now he need her to help pick up the load a little bit. The cost of living has went up a little bit. You know, they may have gotten kids and all of that. And so he's like, hey, where's the money at? She's like, I ain't got no money. I didn't marry you for money. I thought we just loved each other. I thought you was going to pick it up. Well, now he got that $150,000 student loan balance. Why? Because she thought that she was going to go on an income-based repayment plan, or that Biden was going to forgive her student loans. And that ain't play out the way that she thought it was going to play out. She was going to go on income-based repayment for 10 years, and that was going to be able to absolve her of her student loans working for the federal government. And so now either people are confused about the reclassification of degrees, but again, I respect the Trump administration because they saying that we need to cap the amount that we're paying or the amount that we're allowing for people to borrow in student loans, because once you get past a certain threshold, it really don't matter how much you're making because you're going to get killed by the interest. The interest is going to destroy your life. The interest is going to prevent you from being able to really grow.
And this is an attempt to help student loan costs and get colleges to lower the cost of schooling. So
let's pivot for a second. I want to pivot for a second. I want to use a different source. Give me a second.
Take a deeper dive into this week's choices. U.S. Department of Education responding to reports they say falsely claim the agency excluded nursing in its revamped definition of professional degree programs. The latest Real Housewives of Potomac star arrested and accused of stealing thousands in furniture, and where and how to save for Turkey Day. And with 54% here of the vote, you chose nursing, no longer being considered a professional degree by the Department of Education. Now, while there's a lot of buzz and concern online and within the medical field, ABC News received a statement by the DOE dismissing reports that it's reclassified or excluded nursing as a professional degree program, saying, quote, the department did not update the federal definition of professional degree to exclude nursing, going on to say the definition never included it. Meanwhile, the American Association of Colleges of Nursing says the Trump administration's attempt to implement several measures outlined in the president's One Big Beautiful Bill will limit the loan student nurses can access. Anjali Kamlani is here to break this all down. Anjali, thank you so much for joining me. Can you clear up some of the confusion here and how it got to this point?
Yeah, we know that, of course, the medical profession have been really pressured in recent past, especially because of the shortage of doctors. And what that's really put is the spotlight on nurses to kind of pick up the slack, if you will. They've been doing more. They've been fighting to do more state by state. There've been, ways to include and equalize the work and recognize the work that nurses do in clinical settings. And this is why this got triggered into such a hot button issue, because it almost created a step backwards in that fight. For years, we've seen burnout, especially in the post-pandemic era, where nurses now saying about 60% of those, according to the American Nurses Association, of nurses are claiming to feel burnt out. And that trend has continued. We've been seeing over the years that trend. And so the reason why this is important is because if they are disincluded from that list, then it really limits the opportunity for nurses to get licensed and then therefore to earn better. And so you're looking at being put in sort of the general professional category rather than this specialized category. And so that limits their tuition loan amounts. And that's really going to put more pressure if fewer nurses decide to get licensed.
So you're telling me, right? Because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. What you're telling me, or what she's saying, is that that's going to put pressure on people to no longer get licensed because they don't have the ability to take out more student loans. I'll tell you this. When I went to Oakland Community College, Oakland Community College here in Michigan is one of the most coveted nursing programs in the state of Michigan. They have such a coveted program that the girls were making sure that they get 3.9s and above to get qualified to get accepted into the nursing program at the community college. You come out of the nursing program in the community college going straight into your profession. Now, if you're telling me that you need to have the classification as a professional degree so that you can then get into nursing, then I will tell you that you're a lie. I will tell you that you're a lie. Why do I know? Because Rita went through the program. I paid for it. Rita went through the Oakland Community College nursing program, and I paid for her to go through it. So I'm intimately familiar with, and it's just a skill set. And so she wanted to do construction, so she's building properties because she worked for me. But I wanted her to have something to fall back on just in case, right? So she actually went through the program, and it didn't even take that long for her to go through. I think it was like a couple years or something like that. And then she was out of there. You remember when she was going to school? And so it was really good because all she had to do, because my daughter was big and everything and was in school, all she had to do was study. She just studied all day, every day, studied all day, every day. And so if you're telling me that they have to pay $100,000 plus to go through the nursing program, then I will tell you that you're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. That's not true. That's not true. So now basically what we're having is a reclassification of degrees because people don't really have solutions, right? They're pissed off. There's a list of degrees and you can go and look it up yourself. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can put it up. Reclassification. All right, I'll pull it up for y'all. So here we go. The term professional degree is being reclassified by the U.S. Department of Education under one big beautiful bill. So apparently everybody didn't read the bill. They were only focused on whether or not billionaires would only get their tax breaks. But the term was reclassified under one big beautiful bill for you to be able to save money. The new classification will impact federal student loans eligibility as degrees no longer considered professional may have lower loan limits. That's it. So when people were whining about, oh my God, I got all of these student loans and I can't pay it back. When you see people running around getting mad saying, oh my God, I'm so mad that I can't afford a home. I can't afford the cost of living. It's because they got $200,000 in student loans and the government is saying, I want my money back. So now they have to go in and they have to look it up. You said, what website is this? This is AI. So it's sourced from multiple different websites. You can see them over here. This is specifically from the Vermont Society of CPAs, Time Now, MSN, and more. Okay, so it tells you where it gets a lot of its information from. And then it also goes into the top stories at nurses.com, WKYT, Inc.com, USA Today, and so on and so forth. But it's giving you a breakdown and an AI overview. So I need y'all to get involved with AI. I talk about it on the Patreon. There you go. All right. The reclassifications such as nursing, physician assistant, physical therapy, and social work are being reclassified from professional to graduate status. The loan impact this can change directly affects student loan limits. New repayment assistance plan will cap loans for new graduate students at $20,000. This is for graduate students at $20,500, while professional students are capped at $50,000. So if you are a graduate student, you can take out up to $20,000 in student loans, or you can also to get a job. And if you are a professional student, your cap is 50. Okay? Included degrees. Degrees remaining in the professional category include medicine, law. These are all that still remain professional and have not changed. Law, medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, optometry, veterinarian medicine, podiatry. All right. So, and then it goes on more and you can do a deeper dive so that you can better understand exactly what's going on. But I don't really see what the problem is. I think that the Department of Education is doing a great job. And for them to say that we're reclassifying how we're going to allocate your loan so that we can put a cap on how much you can borrow, it's going to force you to do a much better job of managing what it is that you're going into so that you can make sure that you make money and don't have affordability issues and blame it on the federal government for loaning you something that you knew that you was getting into. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I think they're doing a great job. I don't have no problem with it whatsoever. Nichelle, what up? Just go. Nichelle says, just read that recent corporate layoffs are due to rising health insurance premiums as well as AI. Would love your opinion on how employees set up their benefits to minimize job insecurity. All right, I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to save that one. What up, Wink? Wink says, so blessed to have the military pay for my education. That's also an option. Definitely worth the sacrifice. No Filter J in the building says, they want easy degrees, but the lavish lifestyle, that don't click, G. Facts. Christian Hutchinson says, they literally priced out college credentials, charging doctor lawyer fees for careers paying middle class. Teachers in high school told us it was a trap in 2001. Facts. Watson the Great says, people wanting to be in debt is crazy. Those people care more about their title than financial relief. I agree. I agree 100%. Let me answer Michelle's question. Michelle says, Just read that recent corporate layoffs are due to rising health insurance premiums as well as AI. Would love your opinion on how employees can set up their benefits to minimize job insecurity. Well, I don't know if you can minimize job insecurity by setting up your benefits differently. And I also think that the employee setting up their benefits is much different than corporate layoffs due to rising insurance premiums. That would have to be something that is overall a collective thing that lowers the cost of them being able to hire the employee. I'm going to be honest with you, Michelle. I don't think that any of the layoffs are due to rising premiums, nor do I think that the majority of the layoffs is due to AI. I don't. Most companies actually have enough attrition to, and when I say attrition, that means that people naturally falling off the payrolls, retirements, quitting, firing, moving over to a different job, changes, all of that. Most companies have more than enough attrition to account for or to just do a hiring freeze and then to pivot, right? So for people to say that it's because of AI, it's not. It's not. I made some phone calls. I had some conversations, and AI actually increases profits to allow for you to be more efficient. It does not warrant. Now, unless you're something like an Amazon or UPS or FedEx, in which they're implementing physical AI, all right? Physical AI is impacting jobs, meaning that, and Amazon still isn't laying off because of physical AI. Because you got to remember, man, listen, the one thing that I remember the most is that people always complain and it's always quitting and there's always a lot of turnover when it comes to Amazon. I've seen so many people complain, oh, they work us too hard. I went in one day and I quit the next. Amazon has always had a lot of turnover in their warehouses and stuff like that. Correct. AI will mainly affect lower skilled workers. So even if you want to say, for example, let's go into software engineering, right? If you use AI in any real capacity and then you went through and observed the source code, although it gets better, it makes a lot of mistakes. I would never give a prompt or develop a set of prompts and then depend solely on AI for my code, ever. Now, I would leverage it in order to help me be more efficient in what it is that I'm sourcing, right? Or what I'm developing, but ain't no way in hell that I would ever depend on AI and say that this is sufficient code for me to deploy or to put into production in an agile environment. No way, under no circumstance. So when people just say things, those are talking points. Those are things that the producers are feeding to the newscasters that don't know nothing about actually being in a corporate environment that then would force you to leverage these technologies. I'll go so far as to say that there's a lot of companies that are still trying to figure out how to use AI. There's a lot of companies that's still trying to figure out where they can deploy. You don't just get AI and say, oh man, we got AI. All right, so cool. We're going to replace all of these workers and that's it. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. I've talked to some of my colleagues back in both banks that I worked in. I've talked to some of my colleagues in mortgaging. I've talked to some of my colleagues that work for technology companies, like pure technology companies, and nobody is telling me, right? Because I had to make some phone calls for myself. I said, man, what is really going on? Nobody is telling me that they are literally replacing workers or workers are leaving because of AI and they're not bringing in nobody else. If you've ever worked in an agile environment, if you've ever worked in a production environment, you know that AI is nowhere near to the point to where you can use it to replace employees. Low-level workers, then it may be slower to hire, but it's not enough for you to actually justify laying off 30,000 people. That's bull. That's the biggest crock of nonsense that I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, companies may be looking at the bottom line and saying, hey, listen, we got a lot of health insurance premiums. We got this cost. We got this cost. Accounting, bean counters. They also look at capacity, right? So when I say capacity, they're looking at, okay, we got this much budget allocated towards this. This is what we spent last year. This is how much we have in billing. This is how much we got in contractors, so on and so forth. We may be able to bring this in-house. We may be able to cut this cost. We may be able to do this. This project is done. We can deploy that. We don't have to worry about that no more. And so we don't need this many workers. And so overall, we may need to eliminate 5,000 to 6,000 people because this project or our contract with this company is no longer needed. That may be a thing because they're looking at the overall cost of doing business. And so they may develop a program like One First. They'll call it something like One First or still getting cost in line, right? And so they'll say, well, in order for us to get cost in line, we need to shave this much off of the budget because we have too many people and profitability is not going to be up and we need to be accountable to our shareholders. They are not laying off in mass only because of AI. That is a talking point that they use in order to get off so that the companies don't receive backlash and that workers are not revolting against the company because they are still publicly traded companies. AI is not replacing all of these jobs. We've just gotten to the point to where you can deploy it sufficiently enough to where you can actually be even remotely productive with it. So I'll give you another example. I looked at a Coca-Cola commercial where it was mostly AI. It was some of it was real and a lot of it was AI. They said that it took over 70,000 prompts to develop that commercial. 70,000 prompts to develop that commercial. Do you know how much manpower it takes to develop 70,000 prompts to develop that commercial? And I prompt all day, every day. I use AI, I deploy it. We bring in different stuff all the time. We're leveraging it in everything. That, you know how many prompts, 70,000 prompts is to produce a less than 2-minute commercial? Shit, they've spent more money using AI than they would have just shooting a regular commercial. It's not there yet. I use it every day. I talk to people that are using it. I just got the new Gemini update. I'm looking at what's going on with ChatGPT. I'm looking at all of the different companies that's getting swallowed up. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. I promise you it's not there yet. It's still in its growth phase, which is another thing that we talked about in the last stock club inside of Patreon as far as capacity, chips, profitability, different sectors that's going to be affected. It's not there yet. I'm telling you it's not there yet. It certainly is not there yet. So when these companies are lying, saying that, oh man, we got to do layoffs over AI, I don't believe it. Actually, the companies ain't saying it. It's the people, it's the pundits, it's the correspondents that are saying it. And I look at AI ads that be on some of these videos that I click on. So I go to click on a video and I forget that I'm not on premium on that particular account because I have been just uploading or doing something or whatever. And I click on it and I'm like, what is this garbage? And you can tell that it's AI. You can tell that it's AI. So it's not there yet. It's not there yet with movies. It's going fast. It's developing quickly. It's not there yet with movies. It's not there yet with engineering. It's not there yet with a lot of things. Now you can deploy it, for example, in certain capacities when it came to production environments and things like that. But it's so not there yet. The audio be off, everything be off. They be having 3 eyes and stuff like that. It's not there yet. It certainly is not there yet. So, but I've learned a lot. I've been using it every day for the last year. And I think I might, after we do block club, so we're going to do the business live streaming the Patreon, and then we're going to get in the block club. And before we go into the next stock club, I'm going to do another AI update because I want to show y'all how I'm leveraging it and how we're using it to increase profits and increase productivity. Then I'll do that. But it's not there yet. I think all of these companies is capping. I think they're just laying off because they're not as profitable as they once was. And their leadership is trying to make sure that they return shareholder value. That's it. So that's my long explanation. I think that costs are up. And so cost cutting has always been a part of the corporate environment. What do you think of the resources needed to power AI? They have to get more efficient with that. That's where I think that we should start leveraging alternative energy sources. That's where I think that we can start leveraging alternative energy sources. I don't think that we get rid of traditional energy sources, clean coal, natural gas. I think that we need to drill our own oil and stuff like that. And when you're talking about solar and wind energy, I think that that's how you can start to get into these data centers that is draining resources in different communities. I think that that's where you start to deploy clean energy. That is where you start to deploy clean energy. I don't think that it comes from overall infrastructure. I think that clean energy needs to be used for project-specific developments. When you talk about the energy used to keep these data centers running, water, all of that, every major company needs to be a good steward of the data centers that's being built. The problem with that is that you have so many small communities competing for tax dollars that they're willing to let these billionaires and these multi-billion, trillion-dollar companies build anywhere that they want to. So that's my thoughts on it. I would be more concerned about the new robots instead of artificial intelligence right now, possibly, in my opinion, of course, about the new robots instead of artificial intelligence right now. Well, they all go hand in hand. I don't think that you have one without the other. Artificial intelligence specifically is going to affect physical AI. My wife did an associate's RN, Henry Ford, then did bridge courses for a BSN at U of D. Nurse practitioners, its doctorate program in Michigan. Shout out to your wife. She killing it. I know she making a lot of money. Hold on to your wife. King DJ Trick says, thank you, Anton. Can you tell people most AI isn't even in artificial intelligence yet? It's still in searching the web form for predetermined responses based on your question. It is. It is. It 100% is. It's a more efficient Google. That's all it is. AI right now is a more efficient Google. That's it. And then when y'all go on ChatGPT, y'all are basically training it to respond to you according to how you communicate with it. All y'all doing is finding another man. All y'all doing is finding another man. When I say that you train men how to treat you based off of how you deal with it, that's what you're doing. When y'all talking to ChatGPT, you're training the model to treat you or to talk to you or to answer you a certain way. In the same way that you talk to a man. They not even, look, most people, y'all are paying for credits and tokens and subscribing, and you're not even using it for business purposes. I don't use AI for personal purposes. I use AI strictly for business. Y'all are training it and talking to it and using it. Most people are using it as a form of therapy. Most people are only using it as a form of therapy. They're not using it for what its true capacity to be is, to make more money, to make your businesses more efficient, to stand up and use it from a marketing perspective. None of that, honestly. It's so dumb to see that probably 98, 99% of people that are using AI are using it for stupid purposes. Anyways, it's their prerogative, AD. Damn. Listen, I don't care what y'all use it for. When y'all cut off this show at the end of the day, you're going to go and do whatever you want to do with it. This is the Millionaire Morning Show. So my mind always tries to figure out, well, where is the money in this thing? If you're just using it for fun purposes, God bless you. I'm not on the internet because I like to have fun. And I've always said this. If there was no money in this shit, I wouldn't be on the internet. I wouldn't even have an Instagram account. I wouldn't even have a TikTok. I don't do technology for fun. I do it for money. As a software engineer, the goal was for me to figure out where the money is. I was not on there to try to figure out how I can have fun and put stars in the air. So listen, if y'all like it, then I love it. But I'm not here for the games. I'm here for the money. God bless them. Good morning, HR and Admin Department. AI only needs management. Shout out to my girl Mika for the Red Cup. Go and check out the Red Cup podcast. My girl Mika in the building. Aaliyah, are you on tonight? Are you on tonight, Aaliyah? Good afternoon, Anton. I just started watching a Mark Lamont Hill clip. Tell him to stand down, King. Who they fooling over there? King DJ Trick says, use AI to do what you can already do so. Use AI to do what you can already do so you can enjoy a dinner date or take a nap while it's working is the point, people. Shout out to King DJ Tricks. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me see what I can get into real quick. The nursing. It's a lot of stuff happening. Let me see something. Let me see what this is. I got this video, and I wanted to see what this was about.
All day today, the scenes of what some are calling a crisis. Lines stretching around the block in D.C. as hundreds wait just to try to make an appointment to apply for rental assistance. 7 News was there as nearly 1,000 people were out in the cold to try to save their homes. Most told 7 News they were laid off and they're facing eviction within weeks.
Yeah, our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley is joining us live now from Northeast D.C. Felicia, a community member called you this morning after they were already waiting for hours.
That's right. And that call came at 6 a.m. and I got here moments later. As you can see now, it has died down. Most people have been able to make their way in, but those even at the end of the line right now have been here for more than 6 hours. Now, people told me that this was very disorganized chaos. They said that the government, the district should have been preparing for this, especially during the season that we are in. And I saw some of that as I was here. Yeah, it drops right away. The phone number the department gave people doesn't work. Some telling me that's why they had to come in person.
I lost my job 8 months ago. I haven't been able to find a new job, and that means I didn't pay rent for all that time. And now my landlord is suing to evict me. And unless I can pay the protective order, I would probably be homeless.
So wait a minute. Let me put a stop up in it. Is it that bad out here in these streets on DC? Is it that bad out here in the streets in DC? If you have a job, all right, and I warned y'all, man, I don't know why y'all don't watch this show on a regular basis and say this to your friends and family. I warn people. I genuinely warn people. I said, listen, now is not the time for y'all to get creative, for you to be doing, hey, this is my day at work, for you to be on TikTok with your uniforms on, representing the companies that you work for you to be risking it and telling your story, telling on employees, going back and forth, disrespecting people, all of that or whatever, right? Now is not the time for a lot of people to be sitting here playing games with their job and their income. I don't believe that there's ever a time that people should be playing games when it comes to their ability to earn. You're not going to quit or you're not going to get fired and become a TikToker. You're not going to get fired and then be able to replace your income with as a content creator. Nope, that's not how it works. It's hard. Thank you, Courtney Yeager. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. It's hard. I feel so bad, but then at the same time, I'm laughing on the inside at all of the people that laughed when I said I'm getting a job. When I said, yep, I'm about to get I'm going back to corporate, and it's not that I need it. I'm doing really, really well, but I'm going back to corporate. People sat there and they said, Anton, you're stupid, you're dumb, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. And people sat there and really tried to give me the third degree on the fact that I was going back to corporate America. People literally laughed at me when I said that, nope, I'm going back to corporate America. They made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
This conversation is why. Why did Anton take a corporate position and do the exact opposite of what everybody is telling you to do? Because there's a difference between what they tell you to do versus how they live it. The fact that they have to sell you this narrative instead of living it. See, the difference between me and everybody else is that my life is an open book and I'm transparent. Every single thing that I do, I share it with you because it's important for me to bring you along the journey and use myself first, getting the beam out of my own eye, and then helping you to understand how it is that you're supposed to move based off of my own life experiences. I've done it all. Running businesses,
September 16th, 2021. Anton said they made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I was going back into corporate America. And I was amazed at the people that were sitting there holding me accountable for accepting a position to go back into corporate America because I had retired a couple of years ago in 2019. And I always, this is why I leave this type of stuff up. I always come with the receipts. And I sat there and I said, listen, I'm going to keep running up a bag and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to slow down. I'm going to make sure I'm going to keep on running it up. I'm going to make sure I take care of business. I can't stop. All bags is good bags. I can't do it. Now, everybody is sitting there going, I can't survive. Oh, where are the jobs? I remember when people sit there, I did a job. I remember I did a job offer. And I told people, I said, listen, I got a position, for example, where I'm offering $108,000 to start. And niggas turned their nose up at me and they was like, well, what are the requirements? They did like this. Well, what are the requirements? I said, what are the requirements? What do you mean? It's technology. It's content creation. It's working with me. It's making sure that I get stuff done or whatever's on. 108, huh, that ain't enough. I said, 108 to start ain't enough? Okay, no worries. Humbled me. Serve me some humble pie. I said, okay, well, cool. Now look where we at. End of 2025, going into 2026, and people are sitting there pissed off because they can't get rental assistance, and they waiting for 6 hours.
At the beginning of March.
Hey, what happened?
Get the help, but just to get an appointment.
They supposed to have
This is a them problem. That's not a me problem.
the line working, and the line wasn't working by 9 a.m.
Michael has been in line since 5 a.m. and was able to walk out with a packet and appointment. A couple hundred weren't as lucky.
What does this mean for you now that you have this?
This is a big step as far as me being able to take care of my family.
Councilman Treyon White showed up and approached the Department of Human Services Director, Rachel Pierre, about this situation.
What does she have to say about this failed planning and failed organization and treatment of people?
Ain't that the dude that's indicted? Ain't this the indictment dude? If my memory serves me correctly, he still got a job? What? Hold on, let me back up. I swear that this is the guy that got indicted. Ain't this the guy that was allegedly getting money under the table? He won re-election? No way, Connie. Get the hell out of here. I don't believe it. What's his name? Treyon what? It was Treyon something. Treyon White. Shout out to y'all. Let me do a little bit of research. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me put some Treyon in it. See? Now we going into something else. So this was 4 months ago.
Of DC's Ward 8 have spoken. Thank you for staying up with us at 11 o'clock. I'm Lorenzo Hall.
And I'm Leslie Foster. Voters in Ward 8 decided who they want to fill the empty council member seat in a special election. It appears they are giving a second chance to a familiar name despite controversy. Right now, the results show Treyon White is on track to win back the seat he lost just months ago. The Associated Press and the Washington Post are both projecting him as the winner.
Wow. Oh, man. Treyon. What up, Trey? Here's the interesting part, though, Lord. Check this out, y'all. Y'all not seeing it. Who see it? Does anybody see it? Anybody see it in the chat? Y'all let me know what y'all see inside of the chat. Who see it? Who see it? Boop, 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 boop. I'm not going to talk until y'all see it. They all black? Nope. Correct, Wesley. Wesley. It only took 1,987 people to get there. It only took less than 2,000 people to get there. I love America. I love America. America. I love this country. It only took him 1,987 people to get there. You can't blame him. You can't blame him. You cannot blame Trey. You can't blame Trey White. I ain't mad at him. He said, listen, I don't care if I get indicted. I don't care if y'all said I took bribery money. I don't care if y'all got me on the camera. It doesn't matter. I have my Ubuntu tie on. I have my braids. I am in a predominantly black environment, and it don't take but less than 2,000 people in order for me to keep my seat. Just suck my. They said, are you gonna retire? Nope. Nope. I ain't retiring. Why would I leave this money on the ground? Let me see something. Trayon White. Much does Trayon is out here killing it. Trayon White was a DC council member whose salary was approximately $140,000 annual. Is no longer in the role. Yes, he is now. He was charged with bribery in August 2024 for allegedly accepting over $156,000 in bribes, which is separate from his government salary. He is. He's still there. They got him out, but they got him back in, baby. They got him out, but they got. Shout out to Trayon. Man, listen. Winners win. Winners win. Trayon said, "Man, who you talking to, dog? Y'all thought that this was gonna stop me? Y'all thought that I wasn't gonna get to it? I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna run up this bag." Now talk to him about rental assistance, Trayon. Get to it, bro.
Just basically saying she didn't want to really advertise it to prevent this from happening. And you don't have to advertise it because people know people, and we shouldn't be hiding government resources.
Director Pierre stayed in the lobby on the other side of the wrapped around line.
Is everyone in line going to be seen today? Okay. Okay, so you're not going to speak today, though?
The Department of Human Services provided this response 7 hours into the chaos, saying in part, quote, additional appointments may be scheduled based on budget availability to increase transparency, improve eligibility verification, and better manage limited program funding.
People told me they felt dehumanized, disrespected, and humiliated. The line wrapped all the way past that red car. Mind you, I'm on the opposite side of this street and rode in.
Listen, beggars can't be choosy, big dog. Beggars cannot be choosy. They can't. Line wrapped around the building. You can't be choosy. You cannot be choosy, bro. Straight up. You look. There is no such thing as pride and humiliation when you're asking for rental assistance. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. There is no such thing as far as the council people and stuff out there and waiting in line and saying, I'm going to come and check to make sure that everything is okay. All of that is performative. All right. All of that is performative. All of that is just them playing the game, playing in y'all faces, acting like they busy, acting like they really trying to figure it out for you. That's all performative. That's not them doing nothing. They not working on your behalf. They playing in y'all faces. The real people that's playing in y'all faces is the politicians that's sitting there acting like they really care about you. Oh, I'm going to come out here, make sure you got the camera rolling. I'm going to stand in the inside and I'm going to double check. Hey, are you guys accepting any more people today? While you can hear the camera on they shoulder. Right? You can still hear the camera on them and they playing it. They playing in y'all faces. All right. So that's the number one thing. But the real thing, the real conversation that we need to be having is why are there so many people out there getting rental assistance at this time? Exposing. This is exposure. Now we know. All right. So if you here's the summary to this conversation, and then we moving on. Okay. If you think I'm taking notes, don't worry. I'm going back to I need to go and get my iPad. I like to write on the iPad a lot more. If you think that you're doing bad because you have a regular job, or maybe you're not making as much progress as you think that you should be making as fast as you should, or perhaps that you went through a little bit of lull or you didn't get the promotion that you think that you got, or maybe you work in a job and you're trying to run your business, or you trying to get your content creation game up. Whenever I thought that I wasn't making as much progress as I should be making, you know what I did? I was thankful, I was appreciative, and I realized that it's other people that truly don't have nothing better to do, but then they had to depend on the federal government to make sure that they was taken care of. As long as I had breath in my lungs, as long as I had the ability of all of my limbs and my functions to grind, that's what I did. Don't think for 1 second that you're behind. You're not. You way ahead of the majority of the population. Trust me. And just because it's one person that may be doing really well, that don't mean that you ain't got it. You'll get there. You'll get there. Stay the course. Stay consistent. Stay dedicating yourself. Put in the work. Have a long-term perspective. Don't do no mishaps. Don't have no self-inflicted wounds. Don't do nothing that's gonna have you crashing out and doing something dumb. Just stay the course. You'll be fine. Stop looking at everybody else and thinking that just because they getting it, that you're not getting it. You right where you're supposed to be. You're right where you're supposed to be. I was having a crash out this morning. I had a mini crash out this morning. I'm you know me. I like to share my life. I'm gonna be absolutely transparent with you. I had a mini crash out this morning. As crazy as that may sound, I had a mini crash out this morning. And somebody was like, you know, in real life, it was like, what do you mean? What's wrong? What's the problem? And I said, I'm so aggravated. And they said, why are you so aggravated? I said, because I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And I was pissed off. And there was several different. Y'all want me to be transparent? Y'all want me to be? I'll be transparent with y'all. I'm going to be 100% real because I've always been 100% real. And that's what this platform is for. I was pissed off at two things. One of them is going to sound real privileged and the other one is not. All right. So bear with me because we all human. You sound privileged too. But I want to let y'all know that we all human at the end of the day. All right. The first. See, I almost got pissed off again right after that. Right after that. I almost got pissed off again. Seriously, I almost got, see that? I was about to crash out again. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's a sign. What the heck is going on? All right, I'll leave my crash outs to myself. Y'all ready to move on with the show? Y'all ready to move on with the show? Y'all ready to move on with the show? Oh, I'm going to take it as a sign that I don't need to be talking about something now. I don't need to be sharing too much of my personal life no more. Anyways, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. The point is, life be life for everybody, all right? Awesome how you called out Mark L. Hill, Mark Lamont Hill, says, Lord Geotron. I was just level setting. I just level set. Courtney Egger Show says, what's good, AD? Just showing love to the platform. I appreciate you. You know I appreciate you too more, right? TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, salute. What up, though? Mr. Lot says, Trayon hit him with the Tupac. Are you still down? Hey, I can't hate on him. I can't hate on him. He did what he did. MJ Merriweather 4364 says, only in the black community do you steal from the community and they elect you back. At this rate, we all should be running for office. Talk about it. The more dirt you got on you, the better off you're going to do. Darth Anton channel for the crash out. Facts. Are we back yet? Patreon live stream on Wednesday. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Tiege Hanley, 40% on your first order, 20% off for life. Y'all ready to get to it? All right, so let's go into something else. Forget all of this crash out conversation. I don't like crashing out. Man, shout out to the people over in DC. I hope y'all do well. I don't like y'all needing rental assistance like that, man. I want people to vote the way they're supposed to vote. And I want people to get the money that they're supposed to get. Let me see. Only gives that. Let's go. Zohran. I want to go over to Zohran. Zohran, do you know who MSNBC's most loved guest is? It's Zohran Mamdani. Now, Zohran actually had a interesting meeting with Trump. Zohran Mamdani had an interesting meeting with Trump. All right. I was very confused. I'm not even going to lie. I was very confused. I could not understand for the life of me what Trump's strategy is, how he was doing what he was doing, why he was being so nice to him. But I think I figured it out. This is Zohran Mamdani on MSNBC. He's always on MSNBC and on Meet the Press. I think he is the fakest person in politics today. He always got that smile on, but the people love it. So he's giving the people what they want.
And joining me now is the mayor-elect of New York City, Zohran Mamdani. Mr. Mayor-elect.
Y'all do know that when they start these videos, because I've been on these national shows, they hit you with the 3, 2, 1, and go. So when you see him doing this, he's coming on the camera with the 3, 2, 1, and he's coming on like that because they're counting you down. And so when he's hitting you with the Zohran smile, with the don't mess with the Zohan, this is how he we're going to camera 1 on you. 3, 2, 1, and
joining
go.
me now is the mayor-elect of New York City, Zohran Mamdani. Mr. Mayor-elect, welcome back to Meet the Press and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back.
Well, it is wonderful to have you here in person, fresh off of your first meeting with President Donald Trump. He praised you. He even said you could do a great job as mayor despite months of a bitter back and forth. Were you surprised by the warm welcome that you got?
You know, I was looking forward to having a meeting with the president to speak about the needs of the 8.5 million people who call the same city we love home, and to speak, frankly, about the affordability crisis that is pushing so many of them out of those 5 boroughs. And I found in the meeting that I had with the president a productive one, and a meeting that came back again and again to the central themes of the campaign that we ran: the cost of housing, the cost of childcare, the cost of groceries, the cost of utilities. And it showed that this is an opportunity to now start to deliver so that people can do more than just aspire to struggle in New York City, but actually to be able to live there.
But did you expect it to be so chummy? What was going through your head when you were standing there?
You know, I thought again and again about what it would mean for New Yorkers if we could establish a productive relationship that would focus on the issues.
Bro. Keep it 100, man. You was excited to be there. You never thought that you would ever make it to the White House. And Trump treated you like a king. He rolled out the red carpet for you. He said that he was going to do good things with you. He told you ran a good campaign. It's okay, bro. It's okay to say I was excited to meet the president. I didn't expect for it to go as well as it went. And I was really, really taken aback at how hospitable the president was. It's okay to say it. You don't have to keep sticking to the talking points.
That those New Yorkers stay up late at night thinking about. Because so often in our politics, we try and tell people what they should be worried about, what they should be concerned about. When you actually ask New Yorkers and you listen to them, you hear it come back to the issues that animated not just the conversation the president and I had with the press after our meeting, but frankly, in the meeting itself. It was a conversation where we spoke about the need to deliver on this agenda. And I appreciated that when the president, when we had that meeting, it wasn't just in the Oval Office. He also took me into the cabinet room, and there we were looking at portraits of presidents of years gone by, and we admired a portrait of FDR. And in many ways, when I think about the candidacy that we've put forward, it looks to Fiorello LaGuardia as the greatest mayor in New York City history. You can't tell the story of LaGuardia without telling the story of FDR and the story of a relationship with the federal government that finally delivered at the scale of the crisis it was facing.
Well, prior to your meeting, I don't know.
Y'all said that Trump is doing it out of love for NYC and not because of him. I don't know. I don't know if Trump loved NYC as much as y'all may think he does. I don't know if Trump loved New York as much as y'all may think it is. I think that Trump may be playing a long game. Trump loves Mar-a-Lago. Trump don't necessarily love New York City. I think Trump loves the United States of America. And I also believe that Trump understands that what's best for New York is also what's best for America. But y'all still got to remember that Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles are the biggest cities in the United States of America. Specifically, New York. New York is, when people say I want to go to America, they don't say respectfully. And I love my city, and I think that we're doing an incredible job, and we're going to have a 12th consecutive year of a budget surplus, not deficit, and we're running this city beautifully. But when everybody comes to America, they don't say, I want to go to Detroit. They don't say, I want to go to Memphis or Nashville. They don't say, I want to go to Houston. They don't say, I want to go to Jacksonville. They don't say, ooh, I can't wait to go to America so I can go to Atlanta. They say, I want to go to Washington, D.C., and I want to go to New York and maybe Los Angeles. That's what they say. It's in that order. It's New York, D.C., Los Angeles. That's top three. No matter how we feel, and we that live here in the United States of America can say, man, they running it to the ground. It's a shithole city. You know, we don't like the politics. They keep voting blue, so on and so forth. You could say what you want to say. When people outside of the country say United States of America or United States of America, New York, they say New York, they say Los Angeles, they say Washington, D.C. That's just the reality. So when you are the president of the entire country, it is also important to remember that as New York goes, as much as they're stupid as fuck for electing who is that they elect, as much as New York is what New York is, when you think about America, you think New York and Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. That's just the way that it is. What up, P. Shank? That's the way it is. Everything else is under that. Everything else is under that. Miami is a very close place to that. You know what I'm saying? Different parts of Texas. The Dallas Cowboys is America's team. They think Lakers. They think Knicks. You see what I'm saying? They think Bulls because of Michael Jordan, even though the Bulls has lost a lot of that because Michael Jordan ain't been there and the Bulls ain't won since Derrick Rose was been there. They think America flag, New York, Times Square be booming. Times Square be booming. Atlanta, all of that stuff is under New York, LA, DC. Everything else is under that. Nothing else matters to that. And then you got the different pockets of different things that identify what's great about America. Somebody said Disneyland, 100%. Vegas, 100%. But it's those three cities, and then everything else comes after that. From a city, a metropolitan perspective. It's just the truth. It's not my opinion. That is the truth, bro. Right. Eric D, they don't think Oklahoma City. They don't. It's just the facts. They don't think Biloxi, Mississippi. We may explore it and say, oh man, it's great down here because we going to explore America. They don't think that. They don't think Phoenix, Arizona.
I have to tell you this. President Trump repeatedly threatened to cut off federal funding to New York if you won. The president seemed to back away from that yesterday, though, in his public comments in that joint news conference that you all did. He said, I don't think that's going to happen. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. Do you believe him when he says that?
No, I believed the president in the conversation that we had, and I will continue to make the case, both to the president and to the country at large, about the needs of New Yorkers. Because what I found, frankly, is that New Yorkers have grown tired of being asked to believe in a system that has delivered very little for them. They're tired of a politics that expects everything from them while delivering little. And what they want now is a politics that can see the scale of the crisis in front of it and actually start to work together to deliver on that.
You know,
somebody FedEx guy Q said, I told a foreigner I'm from Baltimore. He said, is that Africa? Oh man, y'all always say something that get me going, bro. That is the funniest thing ever, is that Africa.
You ran a campaign, though, saying that President Trump had not delivered on his promise of affordability. Did anything that happened in that meeting make you think, yes, he can deliver on that promise for Americans, for New Yorkers?
Well, I spoke to the president about the fact that while our campaign technically began on October 23rd last year, for many people, they became aware of it after the president won his election. And when I went out and spoke to New Yorkers, asking them who did they vote for and why, in two neighborhoods that swung most significantly towards the president. This was Fordham Road in the Bronx, Hillside Avenue in Queens. And I shared with the president that when I asked those New Yorkers, why did they vote for the president, they told me again and again, it was cost of living, cost of living, cost of living. And when the president and I were speaking, we were speaking about what is preventing from delivering on that affordability agenda. Sometimes it's a lack of taking on the broken system that we have. And I spoke about in New York City, for example, zoning regulations. We spoke about ULURP. This is a process by which you either approve or deny zoning changes that are made in New York City. We spoke about the need to change so many of those situations such that a developer doesn't tell you the thing more expensive than labor or materials is waiting. And we also spoke about the importance of understanding what it is that hurts New Yorkers in their pockets. It's their rent, it's their childcare, it's their utilities, and it's their childcare. Because the childcare, I say twice, because it is the second highest cost after housing, $22,500 a year for a single child.
Well, let me ask you about the other threat that we heard from President Trump to send troops to New York City to address issues of crime and immigration.
He's never going to admit, even if he
did do this in other major
never
cities.
going to admit this.
Did you get any assurances in your meeting, Mayor-elect Mamdani, that President Trump will not send troops into New York?
I told the president that the cornerstone of an affordability agenda is public safety, and that it is critically important to me. And for all that has been said and all that has been spoken about, and the tens of millions of dollars looking to make New Yorkers fearful of that question, the truth of it is, in fact, that I'm looking forward to working with the NYPD to deliver on that. And I shared with the president that my decision to retain Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch is in large part a recognition of the fact that in her time leading the NYPD, she has driven down crime across the 5 boroughs while starting to uproot corruption that was endemic in the top echelons of that department under Mayor Adams.
And I'm going to follow up with you on your decision to keep Commissioner Tisch. But to this core question that I think so many New Yorkers are curious to know the answer to, what did President Trump say to you? Did he assure you he will not send troops into New York?
He told me that he cared deeply about public safety. I said I cared deeply about the same.
But did he say he wouldn't send troops?
What I told him is that what separates New York City from anywhere else in the country is we have the NYPD. And I trust the NYPD to deliver public safety. And to me, that is something that I know that they can do, that they have done, and they will continue to do under my leadership.
So he didn't rule it out in your meeting?
I made it very clear what we wanted to do was to deliver public safety. And
I tell you what, he's certainly adjusted to being a politician, because he certainly don't answer no questions. He does not directly answer a question. He has certainly quickly adjusted to be a politician inside of the sphere, because he ain't said no answer to no question directly. You know what I did tell him? I did tell him this. Hey, but did he say that he wasn't going to send any troops? You know what? We discussed this, but did he say he wasn't going to send no troops? You know what? I told him that I trust the NYPD, and that's what separates us from the rest of the United. But did he say that he wouldn't send any troops to the United States of America? You know what? I just want to deliver for the people in New York City. And I don't trust people like that, bro. I don't trust people like that. I teach my daughter, although Mamdani is not my daughter. Shout out to Mr. Cardamom. I don't even look at him as the mayor of New York. I look at him as Mr. Cardamom, the rapper Mamdani. And so, you know, I teach my daughter and I teach the people around me. It's answer the question first and then add the context. Answer the question first and then add the context. That's what I teach people to do. Yes, and no, but. But in the school of politics, they apparently teach you to just throw the word salad out, and that's sufficient. So he can't even do that on Meet the Press on MSNBC.
Affordability, the NYPD would be the ones to do so.
In that press conference with President Trump, a reporter asked you whether you believe that President Trump is in fact a fascist, a word that you've used in the past. You were about to answer, then President Trump sort of jumped in and he said, quote, "That's okay, you can just say yes. It's easier than explaining it." So, Mr. Mayor-elect, just to be very clear, do you think that President Trump is a fascist?
And after President Trump said that, I said yes. And
so you do.
And that's something that I've said in the past. I say it today. And I think what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement, about the politics that has brought us to this moment. And we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis for New Yorkers.
You've also said in the past that President Trump has engaged in a, quote, attack on our democracy. You've called him a...
He's stuck between a rock and a hard place because you can tell that he actually likes the president. Y'all getting caught up in semantics, and I'm telling you to look at how he's moving and to make an assessment based off of that. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place because you can tell that he actually likes the president. He likes Trump. He can't stop smiling when he brings up Trump's name. He had a good time at the White House. He's already, evolved, but he can't get away from what he sold to people in New York. And so he has to double down, and he doesn't want to say it, but at the same time, he got to play the game because the people in New York or people that voted for him actually want him to hate Trump. They want him to hate Trump. You can tell that he likes the president. He enjoyed his time in the White House. He took the whole tour. He looked at the Presidential Walk of Fame. They had a whole conversation. They talked back and forth. He had a good time, bro. But what is he going to tell you? That's just, listen, Mamdani is no different than a lot of these guys that are incels that is actually stepbaby daddies. He's no different than the incels that are stepbaby daddies. Man, fuck these hoes. Man, I don't care about these hoes. Skip that chick, man. Man, no, man. Anton said it. Never be a stepbaby daddy. She just for play. She for play. I ain't never taking her serious. And then you look up and they be married to a 3-time divorce, 4-time baby mama. They love the hoes that they talk about. That ain't nothing new. That ain't nothing new. That's the truth. We all like us a good baby mama. Ain't nothing. Listen. The biggest misconception is that men hate women. They don't. They don't. Their experience with them may have colored their perspective on life, but it don't mean that they hate them. You don't like you a good baby mama? I love me a good baby mama. Big baby mamas are the funnest people to hang out with in the world. They're the funnest people to hang out in the world. It's just like liberals, bro. Have y'all ever hung out with a cool liberal? That's why I don't discriminate, man. Let me tell you something, bro. There is nothing more fun than to hang out with a basehead, zoned out, I like to drink and party, let's make it shake. Ain't nothing like hanging out with a cool liberal, man. They the funnest things in the world. They love to bust it down for a real one. Sex, it's just a thing. We can do it in the morning and we may be able to get one in before the nighttime comes in. They're unstructured, they're unpredictable, and they're a hoot to hang out with. Would you marry one? No. Absolutely you wouldn't. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a good time. That's why I tell people, I don't hate liberals. I hate what they stand for. You know? So that's my thing. Like, is this a good analogy? Am I being too real? Fruit snacks on deck. Facts. They always got fruit snacks. Bro, have you ever been with a woman that is super conservative on a date? She's vetting the whole time. It's like, loosen up. Let your shoulders down. You know, let your shoulders down. Have a good time. But then what you'll realize, let me tell you the secret. This is a secret in life. This is a secret in life. All women have a liberal side to them. All women, listen, this is the secret to life. All right. Forget Mamdani. We got what we needed to get out of him. We're going to go for it. This is a secret to life. I'm going to tell you all the secrets. Tell you the secrets of people. All women have a liberal side to you. Want me to tell you another secret? I'm going to tell you another secret. Some of the most staunch Republican white men are the biggest cucks and the biggest gay people. Everybody, join on in. This is the Millionaire Morning Show. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Y'all ready to continue on with the show? Listen, I gotta tell the truth. I gotta keep it 100. I gotta keep it 100. Most conservative women are formal liberal hoes. Listen, a liberal white man is nothing. Most trad wives are nothing more than women that have already had a hoe phase. They're evolved, they're learning, they're changing, they're giving their lives over to God. Most conservative white men were partying hard and busting down all the hoes in college. You know what I'm saying? So come on, man. Listen. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. So when you then say, hey, man, I used to be liberal because my family brought me up this way, or, you know, the black community always taught me to vote this way. When I go back and I look at liberal time, I'm not tripping about it. That's why I keep the videos up. You know why? Because you used to be a liberal hoe and you used to be a liberal cuck. We all changing. We all evolving as we go. Your liberal ways was way worse than mine. I just had a gap in between my teeth. My voice was a little bit higher. My beard was a little bit lower. And I was a little bit more nicer than I used to be. However, your liberal side was a little bit different. You let the whole football team hit. And I'm not tripping about it. You're still a hoot and a holler to hang out with. You're still a hoot and a holler. So everybody is evolving. Everybody is changing. That's why God gave grace. That's why God gave grace. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right? Y'all enjoying the show? If you're enjoying the show, then make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, y'all. Make sure y'all tapping it. Obama era was wild. Facts. The Obama era, we all need to be forgiven for the Obama era. I asked Jesus to forgive me every day. Lord, rebuke the Obama era out of my life in Jesus' name. Amen. You know what I'm saying? We had to wash it away with the blood of Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hey, wash it away, Lord. Wash away the liberal version of ourselves so that we can be the better version of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Mika, don't act like that. Don't act like that, Mika. Wash away the 2000s in Jesus' name. The 2000s might have been one of the worst. The second half of 2000s, 2006 through 2012 was rough. It was rough. We was figuring it out. Had to get our life together in the name of Jesus. Amen. Woo! 2005, 2006 to 2012. That's a 6-year run. We had a 6-year whole phase. 2006 through 2012 was a whole phase for us. We gonna act like it never happened. We gonna move to a different state and we gonna change our name and we gonna give a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a rough time for most of us, and we tried to figure it out. That was our whole phase, our liberal whole phase. 6 through 12. Might extend it to 6 through 15. 6 through 15, 16. 6 through 6. All right, 6 through 16. I give you grace. 6 through 16. If you had a crash out, if you wasn't in a good space, if you were in a bad situation, 6 through 16, we're going to throw that whole era away, all right? You said 1 through 16? We're going to go 1 through 16? 1 through 16? Oh, man. Oh, man, it was rough. Everybody keep asking me, you want to go back to your 20s when I was poor? Why would I ever want to go back to being poor? Who wants to go back to being poor? That's what I want to know. Why would I ever go back to my 20s? Who wants to go back to having a gap tooth and being poor? I did good from 01, from the end of 2000 up to like 06, 07. But the rest of the 20s, it was like, fuck is wrong with what is going on? God, where are we? How can you help me? Change my life. Fix it, Jesus. I don't think I ever prayed more than I prayed in my entire life. I prayed so hard in 6 through 16, 7 through 16. I prayed so much in 7 through 16. I might have prayed enough to be able to cover prayers for the rest of my life, bro. I ain't even gonna cap, man. 6 through 16, I said, Jesus, I will never forsake you if you just grab me out of this dark place in my life. If you help me get out of this, I promise you, I will serve you for the rest of my days. Now I got to keep my promise up because he didn't make me rich. But boy, was I begging. Come on, Jesus, make a way. Yo, I had more show me a sign moments than I've ever had in my entire Lord. Show me a sign. Tell me I'm on the right path. Just give me some kind of path that I'm on my way to do it. Am I on my way, God? Yeah, okay. Give me a sign, Lord. Help me to become fervent, because I'm teetering on the edge. I'm losing it. Dog, nigga, I ain't never going back to my 20s. You could have that whole segment. You could have bro, take my 20s. I donate it as tribute. I donate my 20s as I give it to charity. I give it to charity. I never read so many scriptures in my life. I was trying to find hope anywhere. I started praying the same way that Jesus was praying when Peter forsake him. Lord, I know this is your will. This is what you told me. But if this cup could passeth by my face, if the cup could passeth by my face, let your legion of angels come and grab me now. You said you had a Bentley, AD. No, that was early 2000s. That was balling years. Listen, you know how they say 7 years of feast and then 7 years of famine? That was years before. That was good 2000s. That's 2000 through 2006. 7 through 12 was rough, bro. Rough. I said, I promise I'm going to be a good steward over my money going forward. I ain't talking about 1 through 6. I'm talking about 7 through 12. 1 through 6 was cool. 7 through 12 was rough. I had a daughter. I said, Lord, don't let my daughter grow up to be poor. I'm nigga. I ain't never going back to the 20s. 30s, we good. We was good in the 30s. 30s was slapping. 40s is, I'm a superstar now. I'm a superstar now. 40s, no debt, no student loans, no complaining, real estate out the wazoo. You know what I'm saying? All you telling me is, Anton, yeah, you got to get back fit. You got to get back in shape. Nigga, you know why I was so in shape? It's because I was poor. That's why I was so in shape. I ain't had nothing else better to do but to work and work out. I lived in the gym every day, literally every single day. Bro, every day I was on the Stairmaster. 5 o'clock in the morning. I had nothing better to do but to walk on the Stairmaster. Okay, so yeah, you got to get it. Okay, cool, my nigga. I'll get some weight off me. I ain't tripping about that. Bruh, I was poor. I was broke, so I was poor. I had to slang dick to keep my chick straight. The sex had to be extra good at that time. I had to bridge her. Oh, y'all want me to keep it 100? I had to bridge her, knocking the goddamn dust off that thing, because I had to keep her encouraged. Hey, you know we gonna get rich again, right? Oh, come here. Let me hold you for a second. I didn't even wear a towel when I got out. I was just slippery when I got out the goddamn out the shower. I got out the shower, no towel, air dry. Because I was working out every day because I was poor. I ain't had nothing better to do. How you think she got pregnant at that time? Huh? That's why I say poor people shouldn't have kids. Why you think my daughter was born in 2008? Because, nigga, I was slinging dick. Oh, this is the part of the conversation I want to have. We too grown for this. I was slinging all kind of dick. Dick here, dick there. I was bridging that shit, nigga. I had to do something. I had to do something. That's why my daughter was born in the middle of the housing crisis. Nigga, the housing crisis hit Detroit in 06. My daughter was born in 08. So if you see me being a little lazy nowadays, it's because I'm up now. If you see me being a little lazy nowadays, it's because everything is in abundance now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us can relate. A lot of us could relate, bro. Had all kind of tips and tricks, all kind of stuff going on back then. All right. I'm sorry for the Millionaire Derailment Show. Give me a second. We're going to move over to the next part of the show. Somebody wrote me an email today and said, Anton never change, no matter how many subscribers that you get. I said, I promise you that. I promise you that. Anton never change. I said, I promise you that. Woo! I never change. I never change. I am a rock representative. Never, 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 never change. I was working out every day. I was in the gym working out every day, slanging D. Oh, yeah, you didn't know that, huh? I was in the gym every day working out. Bro, every picture I took was in the gym. Every picture I took was in, bro, I was every day. Every day I was in the gym, slanging D. Slanging D every day. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. I never change. I never change. I was like this. I'm back. And I got too much money. That's all right. I get there. I'll get there. I get there. I will get there. We all gonna get there. Never going back to my 20s. Anyways, they don't know no better. They don't know. I was once broke like you. I was once broke like you. All right. Y'all ready to continue on with the show? I don't know how we got derailed. I don't know how we got derailed, but we gonna get there. All right. That's why I be laughing at niggas. Anton, nigga, I got way more than you could ever. Let me stop. I don't want to get there. What we talking about next, y'all? What we going into? Oh, I got to read super chats. I'm sorry. AD, what's a good AI program to learn? I don't think that you need to get into an AI program. I don't want y'all spending y'all money wastefully. I think you just need to get it and just start messing around with it. Look at the video that I got in the Patreon where I was talking about AI, and that'll get you started, and then that'll incentivize you to start doing stuff on your own. Just play with it. In order to learn it, you just got to embrace it. You got to jump into it. Trump is a New Yorker. It's his home. He can't lose New York. They will bump heads in a few months. Oh, yeah, Trump Tower and other business ventures, real estate. That's true. Wesley Turner says Trump didn't bug on him because Dems would go ham with it. Plus, it would bolster his anti-Trump position for his voter base. Trump's son. Yeah, it kind of made sense. It made sense. P. Shank says, good morning, Anton. Have been talking about those basket weaving degrees that do not have an ROI for facts. No return on interest for a basket weaving degree. Me University says stack of $20 bills, 2 bands in the middle. David Brown says, AD, you know what time it is. Not right now. We behind. I've been messing around. You either AI ready or AI fired. Raymond Campbell says, come on, AD, don't act like Obama was no good. No, I think Obama was okay. I was poor. Bush was the worst president of all time. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, 80 thoughts on the recapture after fleeing her group home, Slender Lady. I don't know nothing about that. Be objective. Can you be critical of Trump? I've said plenty of things that I don't agree with Trump on. I don't know why y'all want me to hate Trump. I think that Trump is the greatest president in our lifetime. There's some things that I don't like. It's some promises he hasn't fulfilled yet. I think he was too aggressive in the timeline during the campaign trail of saying that he would end the war in Ukraine. I think that I still don't understand the play with Israel, and there's some other stuff that I didn't necessarily care about. So, you know, but I'm not going to throw him under the bus because I think he's doing an incredible job. Mr. Lott says, sure did vote for Obama in some true religion genes. Soon says, pay $2 a gallon gas. Denver, who we thanking? Dope. J-Dub says, God be having to double check if it's me or Keith Sweat with all of that begging that I do at times. Talk about it, bro. Come here, girl. Let me bridge you. Had to bridge her. Xavier says, facts. When you broke, you got to slag wood like your life depending on it, and I'm never going back. Nah, bro. Only Lazy D for me from now on. Country Boy Finesse says, did you check out that Bag Chaser song I sent? Not yet. Young Money says, I have a degree in computer science. Shout out to the liberal arts degree holders. Those people get into their major because they're passionate about it. I have so much fun on the Millionaire Morning Show. That's why I got to keep this the way that it is, bro, because it's so fun. This is just so fun. All right, y'all, let's see what else we got out here in the streets. Let me see. Did that one. NYPD officer charged with an intimate relationship with a 15-year-old. Let's try this one. Let's try this one instead. Let's see what this one is about. When I react to this stuff, most of the time I react in real time.
Trying to get their loved one back. Her deportation is making international news because of this video we're going to show you. It shows her being dragged last week by people who appear to be officials in Ghana. The woman's attorney says she was deported from the U.S. after living in our area for more than 30 years. NBC News has reported about dozens of deportees being sent to Africa from the U.S. since the summer, part of a new third country deportation program. And as Tracy Wilkins and the News 4 I-Team report tonight, the video is raising questions from her family about how deportees are treated in other countries.
Mohammed Aghali's mom is his best friend. The two bought this home together in Bowie, Maryland, and he's now worried she won't return after being deported earlier this month.
When I felt defeated, felt like I failed my mom.
You felt like you failed her?
I felt like I failed her just because I'm really, doing anything for my mom.
He says his mom, Rabiatu Kouyaté, came to Maryland 30 years ago fleeing Sierra Leone's civil war. Mohammed was born here in the U.S. and says his grandparents joined them here and became citizens. Kouyaté never became a citizen, but was a nurse with a work permit and was.
So, first of all, a lot of young guys go through what I call child regret from adult neglect. Child regret from adult neglect. And so what happens is they start to feel as though, or is even treated this way from their family, where they are basically told that it's their fault or they feel some level of guilt because their parents didn't do what they were supposed to do, but the child can't save them. And so as a result, the child starts to feel some sort of regret from the fact that the parent never actually did what they were supposed to do. And so the mother never became a citizen in the United States of America. They never did what they were supposed to do. It's almost like being able to get away with driving without a license for a long time, and then eventually you kill somebody. What do you think is going to happen? You're not licensed. You're not insured. You don't have tags on your car. You're going to face the stiffest penalties that you can face just because you've been getting away with it for a really long time, because you know the area, you know the police officers, you may live in a small town, you've been doing it for a long time, does not mean that it is justified and it's the right thing to do. So now they're playing with our heartstrings. They're playing with the heartstrings of the people. Oh my God, they've been here for this long. Oh my God, they did this for this long. They did this, they did this. But did you ever do what you were supposed to do to become legal. You had 30 years. You were a nurse. So that means that there's really no excuse because you made a sufficient amount of money. You had more time. You came in here. You had an opportunity to really take care of your family. You had children. You did all of the things that you wanted to do. You made a ton of money as a nurse. And you're telling me that you couldn't become legal? So now the son is sitting here saying, I feel bad. I feel like it's my fault. It's my responsibility because the parent neglected doing what they were supposed to do to become legal. So now the president is supposed to give grace, right? The president is supposed to give grace. You had all of this time. You had 30 years. You had 3 decades. Some of us haven't even been working for 30 years. Some of us haven't been adults. I haven't been, as a 43-year-old man, I haven't been an adult for 30 years. And let's say, for example, you consider yourself to be an adult at 18. Let's say 20. Let's say 18, just for the sake of conversation, right? As an 18-year-old, is it my responsibility within the next 30 years to eventually become a citizen of the United States of America? At 43, let's say that I was illegal, right? And I came over into this country illegal. That means I got 5 more years, 5 years to become a legal citizen of the United States of America. Now, because they got her on camera, because the people over in Ghana, I know a lot of y'all want to go back to the homeland. You want to go back to the place that your ancestors were dragged from. Y'all want to go to Ghana, Ethiopia. You want to go to Africa. You want to go to Johannesburg. You want to go to all of these places, Nigeria, Jamaica. You want to go all of these places, right? But you ain't left yet. You ain't even went to visit. They dragging you by your hair. Get your over here. Get over here. You got there's no excuse, bro. There's no excuse. So if they had let you stay here, would you ever? Here's the question: if they had let her stay here, would she ever have gotten her citizenship inside of the United States of America? I agree. We don't even know who these people are. 30 years ago was 1995. 30 years ago was 1995. We don't even know if these people actually use their real name. We don't know nothing about these people. We don't know nothing about these people.
Required to check in with ICE every year. But things quickly changed during her July check-in.
They called her to the back. And they said, yeah, Rabiati, you have an order of removal. So, we're detaining you. I mean, my heart just broke.
Did you think that she would see your mother again when they took her that day?
Yes, I was optimistic. I was hoping I'd be able to, see what we could do about getting her released that day.
But he would not see her face to face again. After several days.
You can go there. Why don't you go there? Move there with your mama if you feel so bad.
She was moved to an ICE facility in Louisiana where she was held for months, according to her attorney.
Honestly, I don't think anyone expected her to be detained just because nothing had changed with her circumstances.
Immigration attorney Hannah Bridges represents Kouyaté and says while she was held in Louisiana this past September, a judge granted an order saying she could not be sent back to Sierra Leone, where she says her client had been tortured. Bridges says the U.S. immediately began exploring other countries to send her to, which she also tried to fight in court with requests for hearings.
Those requests went unacknowledged.
Are you concerned that her civil rights were violated during this process?
Absolutely.
How so?
She should have been given notice.
Civil rights for somebody that's not a citizen of the United States of America. Man, I can't wait to go to Tokyo and exercise my civil rights. I can't wait to go back to Bucharest and exercise my civil rights. Man, what are you talking about? I'm going to tell them too. Man, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you and the horses. I'm going to talk to their police officers how they talk to our police officers. I'm going over to y'all country where y'all at, and I'm going to tell you, man, fuck you. Who you talking to? I wish you would. I ain't opening up this door. Man, my civil rights here in this country that I'm not born in, my civil rights is being violated. Civil rights? You don't have civil rights in a country that you're a guest in. You a guest. You a long-term guest. You don't have a lease. You don't have home ownership here. You are a hotel guest. You are a day-to-day occupant. You don't get that.
And an opportunity to seek protection from removal to a third country. And the government had multiple opportunities to do this.
Bridges says earlier this month, Kouyaté was flown from the U.S. to Ghana, a country she's never been to before.
Hi, Mom.
Muhammad called his mother in Africa while we were with him. She says her wrists and ankles are swollen from being shackled for the 10-hour flight. She said some others had it even worse.
There was another guy on the floor. That guy, they training from the head.
Should have act like he had some sense.
They said, if you don't cooperate with us, that's how we're going to tie you.
Kouyaté told the I-Team.
Sound like they treating them the way that we need to handle a lot of these prisoners here in the United States of America. Hey, man, if you don't cooperate, we're going to fuck around and find out. Mess around and find out. Sound like they was out of control. And if you don't cooperate, you keep on falling out on the floor. Okay, we got something for you.
She and other deportees were sent to a hotel in Ghana. She says she was there for 6 days before this happened. A bus arrived to take her to Sierra Leone, even though an American judge ordered she could not be sent there. Her attorney says she was ultimately sent there anyway, although she resisted.
Sound like she didn't want to leave the hotel.
They dragged me, so they bumped the back of my head.
The I-Team obtained multiple videos of the dragging that were sent to her family. Kouyaté believes the people in the green uniforms worked for Ghana's government. These are pictures of some of the injuries she says she sustained.
Wow, I want to know the why. Can they play the part where she say why she got dragged?
Sustained after the dragging. The video went viral overseas, and several media outlets in West Africa reported that the Sierra Leone High Commission, which is like its embassy in Ghana, said it's aware of the incident and will investigate. We asked the Ministry of...
It looked like she didn't want to get up. She was chilling.
Embassy in Ghana, outlets in West dragging. The video went viral overseas.
Yeah. She didn't want to get up.
Outlets in West Africa.
She was being insubordinate. She was being insubordinate. So this is how the media spins it. Oh, she was being dragged. No, she didn't want to get out. She said that she didn't want to abide by their laws. She didn't want to get out. She didn't do what she wanted to do. And so listen, if you don't want to get up, we got a way to get you up out of here. She's Americanized. She's Americanized. She didn't want to get up. They said, okay, well, let me help you. Let me help you get up. I got you, boo.
Reported that the Sierra Leone High Commission, which is like its embassy in Ghana, said it's aware of the incident and will investigate. We asked the Ministry of the Interior for Ghana about this. They acknowledged our email, but didn't answer our questions. We received no response from Sierra Leone officials.
I consider America my home. It's like relationships there.
Kouyaté says she's safe for now in an undisclosed location in Sierra Leone, as her family sits in the home she owns in Bowie, wondering what her future holds and if she will ever come back again. Do you feel like the U.S. government has failed your mom?
Yes, 100%.
We reached out to Maryland's ICE for comment several days ago. They asked that we share our videos of the dragging, which we did. They still have not responded to our questions about the case. In September, the U.S. Department of Justice argued in a federal court that it had no power to control how another country treats deportees. It said that Ghana had pledged to the U.S. it wouldn't send the deportees back to their home countries. The United Nations Human Rights Office has called on Ghana to stop deporting people from the U.S. to their home countries if U.S. courts have said it's dangerous for them to return. And with Kouyaté, she was the primary caregiver for both of her parents, her mom and dad. They thought, the whole family thought, when she got on that plane that was headed to Ghana, that she was going to be released and coming home. So everyone involved in this was confused and shocked. And
wait. Why would they think that she was going to be released and coming home? So hold on, let me replay this again. I just got to understand exactly what's being said.
If U.S. courts have said it's dangerous for them to return. And with Kouyaté, she was the primary caregiver for both of her parents, her mom and dad. They thought, the whole family thought, when she got on that plane that was headed to Ghana, that she was going to be released and coming home. So everyone involved in this was confused and shocked.
Wait a minute. So why would they deport her only to bring her back here to the United States of America? Are y'all stupid or are y'all dumb? Why would they go through the process of deporting her only so they can bring her back home to where they think that her home is here in the United States of America? All right, so here's my other question. Why wouldn't they go and move there? Why wouldn't the whole family, if they loved her so much, if these other countries are the way that we say that they are, in the United States of America is so bad, why aren't people moving to those places en masse to support the people that are deported? If y'all love mama so much, if the son is so gung-ho about holding mama down, why haven't they moved to Ghana to support her? Why they just leaving her over there? How come ain't nobody else leaving? How come nobody else is leaving? Why haven't they left to go and support mother? How come they not all over there? Why didn't some of the family go over there and then the ones that are making the money stay here and make the money and then just make sure that they supported them over there? I don't think that this is an unreasonable question. I think that all of these are reasonable questions to ask. How come they not over there? That's all I'm asking. What we doing? No, that's not a reasonable question. Because people know that the United States of America is the best country in the world, bar none. And let me tell you something else about people that say, no, man, move overseas, move overseas. Let me tell you why they all capping. All right, let me tell you why they all capping. The only reason that they're saying move overseas is because they've already used their capitalistic mindset to make money here in the United States of America so that they can enjoy gentrifying and using their American dollars over somewhere else. Now, I'm not telling you that you can't. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't. I'm not telling you what you could and couldn't do. But what I am saying is that any way you slice it, you've benefited from what happens here in the United States of America. Even if you live overseas, you're capitalizing off of our system to go and be able to take advantage of displacing people that don't even want you in their countries. You're using the American dollar to displace citizens in their countries. That's why they was over there protesting in Mexico City. Because if you're going to divest from it, then divest from it all the way. Completely denounce your citizenship and denounce your ability to make money inside of the United States of America. If you don't love it, then don't love it at all. But no, you take your capitalistic mindset, pretend like you're oppressed, go over into these other countries, pay for pussy from chicks that wouldn't fuck with you otherwise, and then you want to sit there and complain about the American system or American women or American men or whatever it is. No, just say that you just say you want to do what you want to do and keep it moving. Just say you want to do, oh, my money stretched further over here. No, that's just because they only charge $10 instead of $70 over here for some pussy. That's what's really going on. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I mean, can we just call a spade, or are we going to sit here and pretend? Are we going to call a spade, or are we going to sit here and pretend? That's all I'm asking. Let's see what we got here. Read a couple of super chats, and I'm going to read a couple of cash apps. We got a couple Young Money super chats. Y'all think oppressing immigrants is going to make your situation in life better, says Young Money. Are you an immigrant? Are you an illegal migrant turned United States of America citizen? And I'm only asking that because I want to know what where your perspective is coming from. I bet Anton never talked about those 100+ people unalived by Trump and Elon in Texas floods. So they were unalived by Trump and Elon in Texas floods. So was it the flood that unalived them, or was it Elon and Trump? Okay, got you. All right. Shout out to Young Money. I appreciate you. J-Dub says, didn't they incentivize those here illegally to self-deport? They did. Brian, the filmmaker, says she survived 3 decades, 5 presidents, 2 recessions, but couldn't survive 1 ICE audit. Yeah, she needed to go. Oh, man. Shout out to y'all. Y'all want to do one more? We did the long lines. Mamdani. They discussing Chicago's downward spiral on a panel, and they said it's only going to get worse from here. Let's talk about Chicago really quickly, because Chicago is facing the largest property tax jump in over 30 years. So let's get into that a little bit. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe.
Chicago homeowners are facing a record property tax increase to help fill a massive budget hole that the mayor's progressive policies helped create. Kelly Siberia is live in the Windy City with much more on this. Hey, Kelly.
Hi, Dagan. Residents.
Is it me, or does she sound like something is wrong with her?
That the mayor's progressive policies helped create. Kelly Siberia is live in the Windy City.
What's wrong with her, y'all? What's wrong with her? Why does she sound so crazy? Because I'm either thinking 2 things is wrong. Either 1 or 2 things is wrong. Either she's older than she's projecting herself to be, and a lot of them, they get those injections. They get, skin pulls and all of that stuff. Or maybe she's sick. Or maybe she just talked like that. I don't know.
With much
It's the second time that I heard her speaking like this.
Hi, Dagan. Residents of Cook County, home to Chicago, received their property tax assessments this past week. Many jaw-dropped at the assessed value changes, with some residents seeing 15 to 151% increases. This led to one community, North Lawndale, to quite literally burn their property taxes in a community bonfire Saturday night. The group discussed solutions like emulating California's Prop 13, limiting property taxes to 1% of assessed value while capping annual increases at 2%.
I'm just not buying it. What's going on downtown has an impact. With the vacancies downtown has an impact on the region, but I think they're hitting the people who are least able to pay for appeals.
The county treasurer confirming this notion, saying in a press release, when the Loop gets a cold, the rest of the city gets pneumonia. The Loop is the downtown area. This comes as Mayor Brandon Johnson is trying to get his $16.6 billion city budget over the finish line. Johnson says if the wealthiest of Chicago don't pay up, he'll increase property tax rates. That's an increase he initially said he would not use.
It's clear here, we're either going to cut services and lay people off and raise property taxes, or we're going to make sure that those with means who can actually afford it, put more skin in the game.
I warned y'all. I tried to tell y'all. I tried to warn y'all. I warned y'all. I tried to tell y'all. I tried to warn y'all. I tried to tell the people. And you know what the interesting thing about this whole conversation is that there are people in Chicago that still believe that, you know what, Brandon Johnson is doing all that he can do. It's not his fault. Brandon Johnson is doing all that he can do. It's not his fault. They're trying to gentrify us. Black people have already started telling themselves a lie. Y'all don't believe me. Black people have already started telling themselves a lie that it's because them folks is trying to push you. Look, I'm going to show you.
It's getting to the point where it's messing with my psyche. I got to get the fuck up out of here. I have to.
Let's just call it what it is. It's gentrification. Residents of Chicago on the west side, south side, predominantly black neighborhoods like Lawndale, Inglewood, not black and brown. Those residents all got hit with property bills late. might I add, with 100 to 200% raises. For example, that means if your property taxes was typically 20K, you got a letter that was saying that your stuff is 40K now. That's not the type of money people can just pull out of nowhere. It's gentrification at its finest, but what they are saying is that the shops and the locations downtown that are unrented, like
we got to get rid of the Bonnet Chronicles, but let me show you who the Chicago voters are.
Like that big spot downtown where Macy's was before on the Mag Mall, yeah, that's permanently closed, and that spot has not been taken up since. So they saying all these places that have no occupation, the residents from the west side and the south side of Chicago have to make up the difference. Cause yeah, that makes sense. Like, I know our city is in a lot of debt, and the mayor's trying to do everything that he possibly can to make sure that we make up this debt.
I'm gonna play that last part for y'all one more time.
Cause yeah, that makes sense. Like, I know our city is in a lot of debt, and the mayor's trying to do everything that he possibly can to make sure that we make up this debt.
They're not gonna learn, y'all. They're not going to learn. They're not going to change their ways. They're not going to adjust. They're never going to truly understand what is going on. They think that Brandon Johnson's strategy, which is similar to Zohran Mamdani's strategy, is going to save them because they are doing all that they can, and it's the people's fault. It's them folks. A city that is ran overwhelmingly by black people is doing it against black people because they're trying to push black people out through gentrification. So y'all running away all the business owners. You don't understand basic math, right? Because basic math shows you that the properties are being devalued because they can't find tenants, and it's not a good business city. It's not a city to do good business for. So now the people that own these large businesses that also pay the majority of the taxes lobbied the city and said, listen, we need a reduction in the amount that we are paying in property taxes because the valuation of these buildings have significantly went down. And so they granted them that because it is true. The people that's out in other parts of Chicago have been paying the majority of the property taxes. And so their valuation stays stagnant. So they didn't even have a property tax increase in some places. In some places, it was like 0.8% decrease. And the valuation of y'all falling into the scam of home ownership without truly understanding it. You jumped in, bought a property. Now the valuation of your property is going up, and you need to make up the difference for what's happening on the Mag Mile because y'all ran out all of the rich people and all of the business owners, and you can't even find anybody to rent places on the Mag Mile, which was largely considered the greatest shopping experience in the Midwest. And now you're complaining about it because you voted for this. You voted for it. And we warned you about it. We stood on the top of the mountaintop and we said, don't do this. Don't do it. You're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. Don't do it. You got to vote rent. You need more people to invest in your city, and billionaires and millionaires and job income and business owners and startups. And you need to lower taxes to create an entry for people to be able to start up and then also hire other people. And then you also need to reduce your property taxes so you can make it more interesting for people to move in. Instead of having a population decrease, you'll have a population increase, and then you'll have a budget surplus. And then you also need to stop selling off your streets and stop decreasing public safety and pretending like you don't need Trump in there to come and help you guys out. And y'all said, you know what? Fuck you. We gonna do what we want to do when we want to do it and do something about it. And we said, all right, hands off. Don't worry about it. We just gonna come and get all of these illegal migrants out of this apartment that's in a black neighborhood. We're gonna deport some people, and then we done. Cool. Y'all got it. Now they sitting there complaining. I can't believe it. They trying to push us out. I've been yelling this for years. I've been yelling this for years. I've been trying to tell y'all for years that y'all need to do it differently, and y'all don't want to listen to nobody. You don't want to listen to anybody. I bet that Brandon Johnson actually gets reelected. I would venture to say that Brandon Johnson probably is going to get reelected. How much you want to bet? I'm taking all bets. One thing we know about black people is that they love pain. We love suffering. Shit, this might be generational trauma from slavery. We love it. We love our oppressors, especially when they look like us. Listen, as long as it's diversity, equity, and inclusion, as long as you look like us, nigga, you can say and do whatever you want to do. You can just completely run roughshod over us. We cool with it. We cool with it. Give us gay marriage, Obama. Give us higher property taxes, Brandon Johnson. Give us burned up property and crime inside of our neighborhood, Karen Bass. Give us corruption in New York City. Give us it all. Give it all to us. Give it all to us. And if we can't get it from you, then we're going to get it from a foreigner named Mamdani. If we can't get oppression from you, we're going to go to Mamdani. God damn it. If they can't give us what we want, then we going to get what we want. What the fuck is you talking about? You going to give us our oppression? Oh, you going to give us our higher cost, nigga. Because we don't feel like you love us unless you beating on us. This ain't nothing but a domestic violence relationship. Chicago ain't in nothing but a domestic violence relationship, boy. Chicago is in a domestic violence relationship and they beating y'all ass. They whooping y'all ass, except for this time they doing it with your pocketbooks. Give me all of your money. Give me all of your time. Take your ass to work and take on this crime. Ooh, that's a bar. Give me all of your money. Give me all of your time. Take all of this. Take your ass to work and take all of this crime. Yeah. Yeah. You better act like you know, man. Where I'm from, they call me Time the Snowman. You get it? Get it? Time the Snowman. Iced out. Plus, I got snowman. You better act like you know, man. I used to get 15 for a key. They call me Genuine, the same OG. Yeah. All these girls excited. Oh, you know they like it. I'm so tansy. So tansy. Chicago.
The mayor announced the corporate head tax that we've been talking about as a strategy to offset raising property taxes. That's a $21 per employee charge. But after pushback from the public, Johnson increased the size of the companies that will fall under this possible tax from 100 employees to 200. Back to you, Dagan.
Thank you so much, Kelly Saberi. Who wants it? Who wants to tell him? Who wants to tell him?
No, look, I don't like cities to burn. We've talked about this. But Dagan, you mentioned this when you were talking about JP Morgan, who just built their headquarters here and is now facing a Mamdani.
What up, Rob?
They want to tax, whether it's New York or Chicago, all these corporations. It is now up to the corporations to leave and let's watch this experiment implode, or stay and face the tax hike. I want to see the result of this experiment. What is it, 2 years from now? I don't know if companies are going to leave. They may bet that there'll be a new administration in charge in a couple years, and they don't want to uproot their headquarters. But it is up to them to finally figure out what side are they on so that they can hire employees in New York and Chicago or in a low corporate tax state.
Well, instead of making choices, what they're doing is kicking the ball down the road. They're telling Mamdani, we love you, welcome, great to have you here. And, in the back rooms, they're like, what is he doing? We're scared to do. I mean, like they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth is what we're seeing. Look, the problem with property taxes is national. We've seen property taxes rise 27% in the 5 years ended in 2024. It's something everybody's angry about, not just Chicago. But let me tell you, to your point, blue cities, pick up and go, everybody. I mean, it only gets worse from here.
I don't know anybody that's saying, hey, man, let's go and move to Chicago so that we can go and pay higher property taxes and rent. Well, less representation and less police officers. Zero. Nobody is saying let's pick up and move to Chicago right now. And again, that's sad. It's supposed to be the premier destination of the Midwest. Miami, Atlanta, Houston is the South. The South is massive, so they're going to have multiple places. The East is always going to be New York. The West is supposed to be Los Angeles. And nobody is saying I want, and the Midwest is supposed to be Chicago. And nobody is saying let's go and move to Chicago. Actually, 3.5 million people is not in Chicago. And I just looked that up the other day. How many people are in Chicago? It's 2.7 million people in Chicago. It's a fact. You can't fool me. All right, so let's see something. Chicago has a population increase. Yes, Chicago's population has increased for the second consecutive year, adding over 22,000 residents between mid-2023 and mid-2024. But check this out. This growth is reversed a downward trend, right? So they're used to having a population decrease. Methods that better account for humanitarian immigration, particularly from countries like Venezuela and Ukraine, right? So basically what they were doing was they were trying to add illegal immigrants into the country, into the city, so that they can increase the population and get more money from the federal government. And that was the finesse. That was a part of the finesse. That was a part of the finesse. They were trying to count illegal migrants as a part of the population. That's why they were also adding a bunch of illegals into the city. Ain't that messed up? And they were trying to reverse a downward trend. And that is why it's important to do your research before you just start saying things. It is only, which is still a lot of people, but it's not to support the type of spending that they have over in Chicago. I'm on the road. Oh, I like the way you said. Oh, shit. All right, Kiwi. All right, Kiwi. All right. Kiwi B, I see you, baby. Hold on. You made me drop my pen. You made me drop my pen. Hold on for a second. All right, I see you. I see you. She said I'm here for a fun time, not a long time. Thank you, baby. I like the way you say that. I like the way you say that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me read some of these super chats. Some of the soups. The Kiwi get me in trouble. Born in Mississippi, descendants of sharecroppers, and those that came here in the 1600s in those ships. So you shared slave trade. Detroit Lions is trash. Y'all should have lost. We did or we should have lost. Got it. Woo! He said he loves Chicago hoes. All right. Brian, the filmmaker, says Brandon Johnson raised property taxes so high, people opened the bill and started blaming invisible people. Brandon just shrugged like, couldn't be me. Shout out to DEI equals the playing field, says Young Money. Grandpa Gang says, shout out my wife Brenda. We love your content, fellow Michiganders. Brenda! Happy birthday. Oh, it ain't your birthday. Brenda, shout out to Brenda over there in Michigan getting to it. Yeah. I love my Michiganders out here in these streets, man. King DJ Trick says, Anton, who T-Pain wishes he was? Oh, yeah, you need to be at that Michigan versus Ohio State Black Eyes game on Saturday. It's a big deal. I'm not going to be here. I gotta take a trip. I'm gonna be in another city. Yeah, I gotta go see family. I gotta go see the family. I gotta go see family. So I'm not gonna be here. I would love to go though. I would love to go. I would love to go. It's a good show today. When the 90s R&B was at, Marta shout. Oh, gotta go see family. Gotta go take care of business. I love y'all. It was a great Monday. November 24th, we got the Q show tonight. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. And I wish that y'all would make sure that y'all subscribe, turn on your notifications, and got to it. I am enjoying life. I am enjoying you. And I enjoy what we do every day. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all. Oh, hold on. Let me double check something real quick. Let me double check. Make sure that the people is good. I always want to recognize the people that support the show the most. I think we good. I think we good. I think we good. I think we are. I think we are. I think we good. Thank you, Onaka. I'll do it for you. All right, we good. Are you streaming on Thanksgiving? What is Thanksgiving, a Thursday? I am. I will be streaming on Thanksgiving. When do I miss a holiday? When do I miss a holiday? All right. All right, y'all. Got to take care of business. I got to get to the gym because we're going to get back to what we was. And I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.